Why 10 minutes is enough, and why we distrust the idea. 10 minutes can sound like an admission of defeat. We have absorbed the belief that anything of genuine value demands long stretches of visible effort, preferably accompanied by a degree of strain. Chopin, we imagine, did not rise through 10-minute sessions. Serious commitment is measured in hours. So when a short, manageable duration is proposed, the instinctive response is often mistrust. What could possibly change in so little time? The difficulty is not time itself, it is continuity. Adult learning frequently collapses not from lack of capacity, but from the weight of an imagined commitment that cannot be sustained. An hour a day becomes a burden. A perfect routine becomes brittle. Miss one session, and the structure fractures under guilt or exhaustion. 10 minutes, by contrast, does not frighten the nervous system. It slips quietly into tired days and busy weeks. It requires no prolonged negotiation with resistance. Because it is survivable, it is repeatable. And it is in that repetition, frequent, low-pressure contact, that the real work of adaptation takes place. The body learns through returning, not through intensity. The hands refine themselves through regular, attentive contact. The ear sharpens through repeated exposure, rather than through explanation or force. 10 minutes of genuine presence teaches the system that the activity is safe, that it will not overwhelm, that it can be approached without bracing. Over weeks and months, this safety accumulates. Movements become more economical. Attention steadies without strain. What once felt effortful begins to feel familiar. Improvement rarely arrives as a dramatic breakthrough. It appears as a quiet recalibration. Less tension, less hesitation, less internal commentary. Within the Maré music continuum, this principle is especially useful when time is limited. In such cases, the 10 minutes are most effective when directed at the single most demanding element in the current work. A difficult phrase, an awkward shift, a stubborn passage in a scale, or any moment that consistently resists fluency. Isolated and returned to with focused attention for a few consecutive days, that one problem often yields. The musician experiences a clear, concrete sense of resolution. A difficulty that once felt immovable becomes manageable. This small, tangible accomplishment feeds self-discipline, satisfaction, and genuine motivation far more reliably than diffuse attempts to cover large amounts of material under pressure. Progress felt in the body and confirmed by the ear becomes its own reinforcement. 10 minutes is therefore not a shortcut or a compromise. It is an agreement to keep the door open, to return without spectacle, and to allow learning to settle rather than be driven. Music has always worked this way. Open strings, long tones, and simple patterns were never designed to impress. They exist because the nervous system absorbs most deeply when it is not being forced. Over 6 months, the accumulated effect of these short, consistent returns is substantial, not primarily in total hours, but in integration. The instrument begins to feel like a known place. The body understands its own patterns of movement and poise. The mind ceases to resist the act of beginning. At that point, time often expands of its own accord, not because greater effort is being applied, but because resistance has diminished. 10 minutes is enough to begin. And beginning, approached with attention and continuity, carries further than most people expect.